Imagine this. You're standing right at the edge of some new challenge. Maybe big presentation, could be a job interview, or, just trying something totally new. Do you feel that kind of surge, that feeling of, yeah, I've got this? Or is it more like a little whisper, uh-oh, what if I can't?
Right. That fork in the road feeling.
Exactly. That feeling, that powerful, almost magnetic thing. That's what we're diving into today. Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Great topic.
Our mission today is to really get into the emotion of confidence, feeling capable and self-assured in yourself. We want to explore what real confidence actually looks like.
And crucially, how it's different from, say, arrogance.
Yes. How to spot that? We'll also look at its surprising impact, like across your whole life, and then the big one, practical steps you can actually take to build it up.
Yeah, tangible things.
So we're here to kind of guide you through understanding it. Let's just jump right in.
Sounds good. It's funny how much we talk about confidence, but how often it's misunderstood. At its absolute core, confidence is really just that feeling of belief or trust that someone or something is reliable. Pretty simple.
Okay.
But then when we talk about self-confidence, we're going a bit deeper. That's your trust in yourself. It's a positive belief that, generally speaking, you can pull off what you set out to do.
Right. Now, a lot of us, myself included sometimes, we kind of throw around words like confidence and self-esteem, almost like they're the same thing. Can you help us tease that apart? Why does that difference actually matter if someone's trying to, build themselves up?
That's a really important distinction. They are related, for sure, but they're definitely not the same thing. So self-esteem, that's more your overall evaluation of your own worth, like your basic sense of value as a person.
Okay, your fundamental worth.
Exactly. Whereas self-confidence is specifically about your ability to act and succeed in situations. So you could have high self-esteem, feel worthy, but still lack confidence giving a speech, for example. And then there's self-efficacy. That's even more specific. It's your belief in your ability to nail a particular task or goal.
Ah, okay. Like super specific.
Yeah. Think about it. Maybe you're amazing at baking, like perfect souffle every time. Huge self-efficacy there.
Right.
But you might still feel zero general self-confidence walking into a party where you don't know anyone. See the layers. Understanding these helps you know where to focus your energy.
So getting those definitions clear is step one. But here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Confidence isn't just like a personality trait, is it? It can actually become a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Oh, absolutely.
Like people who lack it might genuinely fail because they think they will, not necessarily because they aren't capable. And the flip side, people who have it might succeed exactly because of that belief.
That's spot on. And this isn't some new age idea either. William James, the philosopher, was talking about this way back in 1890.
Wow, really?
Yeah. He basically said, believe what you need to believe to get something done. Because only by believing it can you actually make it happen. He said, have faith that you can successfully make it and your feet are nerved to its accomplishment.
Your feet are nerved. I like that. It's active.
Exactly. It's not passive wishing. It's an active force that literally changes our ability to act.
And you can see this historically too, right? Like World War I. Psychologists back then actually saw self-confidence as vital.
They did. They praised it because they saw it actively, decreasing nervous tension, reducing fear in soldiers. It was almost like a tactical advantage in really extreme situations.
Incredible.
But the opposite is just as true and just as stark. Think about the Great Depression. Academics like Eisenberg and Lazarsfeld, they observed how losing a job, that sudden negative shock, could just crush someone's self-confidence, especially if they blame themselves. They even noted that if people were unemployed long enough, they could become apathetic, lose all self-confidence. It really highlights how much our external world can impact our internal state and why building that inner resilience is so important.
Okay, so understanding that history really shows how deeply confidence shapes things. Let's bring it back to today. What's the everyday impact? You hear it's important, but how does it show up?
Well, the benefits are really broad. Confident people, for instance, research shows they're more likely to save money.
Interesting.
Yeah. And influence others, be more responsible as students. It touches a lot of areas.
So it's not just about feeling good.
Not at all. Self-confidence directly fuels your interest, your enthusiasm, your ability to self-regulate, it's absolutely crucial for actually accomplishing your goals and improving your performance over time.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, it boosts your general well-being, increases motivation, and this is a big one, it seriously enhances your ability to cope with stress and mental health challenges.
Right.
And another thing, the more self-confident you are, the less likely you are to just go along with what everyone else thinks. You trust your own judgment more.
That makes sense. You stand your ground a bit more.
You do. It empowers you to set higher goals for yourself and, maybe most importantly, to keep going when things get tough instead of just giving up at the first hurdle.
The impact can be really specific too. Like I read about salespeople.
Ah, yes. Good example.
Those with high self-confidence, they tend to set much higher goals. And apparently that means they're more likely to stay in the job, they bring in more revenue, and even get better customer satisfaction scores. It's like a tangible business advantage.
It really is. And this connects to something important, how linked our minds and bodies are. In medicine, there's actually a term, defectum sui fiducia, or DSF.
Okay, what's that?
It basically means a lack of self-confidence. And they see it in patients recovering from things, like, say, a stroke.
Huh.
Imagine someone after a stroke being afraid to even try using a weaker arm or leg, not because it's totally unusable, but because they lack the confidence that it will work. It shows confidence, or the lack of it, is a very real, physical, embodied thing.
Wow, that's powerful. And confidence even shapes how we look for information, right?
Absolutely. People who are highly confident tend to be more willing to look at evidence that both supports and contradicts what they already think.
That sounds like intellectual honesty almost.
It really is. It's a sign of security in your own thinking. Whereas folks with lower confidence might actually prefer information that just confirms what they already believe. They might avoid things that challenge their views.
So they stay in an echo chamber, maybe?
Could be. And here's the tough part. If someone with low self-confidence gets negative feedback, it can be really devastating. It can lead to demoralization, which then feeds this self-defeating attitude, making failure more likely next time. It's a nasty cycle.
Yeah, you can see how that would spiral.
Very difficult to break without conscious effort.
Okay, so clearly building confidence is vital. But, and this is a big but for a lot of people, how do we make sure we're building confidence and not slipping into, well, arrogance? Where's that line?
The $1 million corn. And it is absolutely crucial. Arrogance, fundamentally, it's often rooted in a strong dose of narcissism, and it's usually made worse by a real lack of self-awareness.
Okay.
The core difference. A truly confident person knows their value, absolutely, but they also see and appreciate the value in others. They don't feel the need to put themselves above anyone else.
Right.
Arrogance pops up when someone loses that perspective, loses their humility, and starts seeing themselves as just fundamentally superior.
So maybe we can spot it in a few ways, like being open versus being a know-it-all.
Exactly. That's a great first contrast. Confident people are genuinely open to other ideas, other perspectives. They're secure enough to take input, to learn. An arrogant person, well, they think they already have all the answers. They often refuse help or advice because, they know better.
Yeah, you see that sometimes. What about being self-assured versus self-consumed?
Another key difference. True confidence means you're assured in yourself, secure in your value, but you're not consumed by it. It doesn't dominate your worldview. Arrogance is when your self-image becomes pretty much your entire world. You put yourself right at the center of the universe, and everyone else's needs or value becomes secondary or maybe even irrelevant.
Right. And one more, self-worth versus insecurity. Seems counterintuitive, but...
It does, but it's true. A genuinely confident person has solid self-worth. They don't need to constantly brag or boast. Their achievements speak for themselves, or they're just comfortable with who they are.
Okay.
The arrogant person, though, often has this inflated sense of self-importance, but underneath, they're often never truly satisfied. They feel that compulsive need to boast because deep down they might be insecure about their persona or feel like it's constantly under threat.
So the boasting is actually a sign of weakness, in a way.
Often, yes. It can tie into what some call a false growth mindset, too, where people or even organizations say they embrace growth, but they don't really walk the walk. They might praise effort, but ignore actual results or progress. It's superficial.
That's a really useful distinction. Genuine internal work versus just the outward show. Okay, so we know what not to be. How do we actually get to that healthy, authentic confidence? How do we build it from the ground up? I know Albert Bandura did work on this. self-efficacy.
Yes, Bandura's work is foundational here. He identified 4 main sources for developing self-efficacy, which, as we said, is like the bedrock for overall confidence. These are your roadmap, really.
Okay, lay them on us. What's the first one?
First, and probably the most effective, is mastery experiences. Basically, successfully doing things.
Makes sense. Practice makes perfect, kinda.
Well, yes, but it's more than just practice. Every time you successfully complete a task, especially a challenging one, it builds your belief that you can do it again. But here's the nuance. You want to set goals that are achievable, yes, but not necessarily easy.
Okay. Why not easy?
Because if all you ever experience is easy success, the first time you hit a real obstacle, you might just crumble. You haven't built that resilience. You need to overcome meaningful challenges to earn that deep confidence.
Right. Earned confidence. Got it. What's number 2?
Number 2 is social modeling. This is basically learning by watching others.
Like role models.
Exactly. When you see someone who you feel is similar to it, you succeed at something through effort and persistence, it powerfully boosts your own belief that you can do it too. The more similar you perceive the model to be, the stronger the effect. Mentors are huge here.
Yeah, seeing someone relatable succeed makes it feel possible for you too. Okay, number 3.
Number 3, social persuasion. This is about getting encouragement from others.
Like a pep talk.
Sort of, yeah. Hearing positive affirmations, getting genuine encouragement from people you respect, that can really help you push past self-doubt. But the flip side is also true. You need to be a bit careful who you listen to.
How so?
Well, if you constantly seek feedback from people you know are likely to be overly negative or critical, that can seriously undermine your confidence. So choose your encouragers wisely.
Good advice. Okay, and the 4th source?
The 4th is psychological responses. This is about how you interpret your own internal state, your emotions, your physical reactions.
Okay, explain that a bit more.
Think about getting nervous before a presentation, sweaty palms, racing heart. If you interpret those feelings purely as, oh no, I'm terrified, I'm going to fail, it tanks your confidence.
Right.
But if you learn to manage that stress, maybe reframe it as excitement or adrenaline, and elevate your mood, you can actually improve your sense of self-efficacy. It's not about eliminating the feelings, but changing how you perceive and interpret them. Mindfulness techniques can be really helpful here.
Okay, so it's about managing your reaction to the reaction.
Precisely.
These 4 sources seem to lead right into Carol Dweck's work on the growth mindset. That idea that you're not fixed, that you can develop skills through effort.
Absolutely. They're deeply connected. A growth mindset is the belief that, yeah, your intelligence, your abilities, they aren't set in stone. You can develop them through dedication, learning, perseverance. It completely reframes how you see challenges.
So instead of seeing a challenge as a threat,
you see it as an opportunity to grow. Constructive feedback isn't an attack. It's valuable data to help you improve. This mindset encourages taking calculated risks, learning from mistakes, all essential for building lasting confidence.
And apparently our brains are physically involved in this process. It's not just a nice idea.
Not at all. It's neuroscience. Your amygdala, the brain's emotional center, flags a goal. Is this important? Does it resonate? Then your frontal lobe, the planning part, jumps in to figure out the how.
Yeah.
And together they work to refine the skills you need. But the really cool part is brain plasticity. Your brain can literally rewire itself based on your experiences and focus. So when you intentionally embrace challenges with a growth mindset, you're physically strengthening the neural pathways associated with learning and confidence.
Wow. So you're literally building a more confident brain.
In a very real sense, yes.
Okay, this is all fascinating theory. How do we make it practical? What are some tools we can put in our confidence toolkit for everyday life?
Right, let's get practical. One key idea is learning to navigate the journey through the fog of uncertainty.
A fog of uncertainty. I know that feeling.
We all do. When you're tackling something big or new, there'll be times you just don't know the next step. It can feel confusing, even scary. That fog is normal.
So what do? Just stop?
No, the way through is forward. Slowly, maybe, like driving in fog with your headlights on low beam. Focus on what you can see, the immediate next step. Experiment. Run little tests to gather information. Just keep moving. Clarity emerges from action, and navigating that fog itself builds confidence in your ability to handle ambiguity.
I like that. Keep moving, even slowly.
How
else can we find clarity when we're stuck?
Another powerful approach is developing lateral thinking skills. This comes from Edward de Bono's work, instead of just logical, step-by-step thinking.
Yeah.
Lateral thinking uses creative, indirect approaches. When you're stuck, ask weird questions. What's the opposite of the obvious solution? How would a child solve this? What if I ignored this constraint? It forces you out of mental ruts and helps you find unexpected solutions, which boosts confidence in your creative problem-solving ability.
Okay, thinking outside the box, literally. What about when the problem just feels too big?
Classic overwhelm. That's where Descartes' method is brilliant. Breaking down big problems. Just divide the massive challenge into smaller, more manageable pieces. Identify the main issue, then break it into sub-problems you can solve. Tackle them one by one. Each small win builds momentum and makes the whole thing feel less daunting.
Simple but effective.
Very. And related to that is really learning from mistakes and negative feedback. Don't just brush them off or beat yourself up. Frame setbacks as data. What can you learn? How can you adjust your strategy? Using feedback constructively is crucial for improvement and resilience, which fuels confidence.
Okay. And you mentioned well-being earlier. Self-care and self-compassion fit in here too.
All right. Absolutely foundational. Self-compassion isn't about letting yourself off the hook. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a friend who's struggling. Kristen Neff talks about 3 parts. Self-kindness, being gentle with yourself, versus self-judgment. Right. Common humanity, realizing suffering is universal, you're not alone. Yeah. Versus isolation and mindfulness, observing your pain without exaggerating it, versus over-identification. Being self-compassionate is strongly linked to better mental health, which is the bedrock for confidence.
It's interesting you mentioned helping professionals sometimes struggle with this.
Yeah, there's a tendency sometimes to focus so much on others that self-care gets neglected, but you can't pour from an empty cup. Prioritizing your own well-being isn't selfish. It's necessary to sustain yourself and your confidence.
Makes total sense. What else is in the toolkit?
Consider your optimism as an explanatory style. How do you explain good and bad events to yourself?
How does that work?
Optimists tend to credit themselves for good outcomes and see bad outcomes as temporary or situational. Pessimists often do the opposite, blaming themselves for bad things and seeing good things as flukes. Cultivating a more optimistic explanatory style, seeing setbacks as learnable moments rather than permanent failures, directly builds confidence.
Oh, okay, interesting. And connections with others.
Huge. Social support. The evidence is overwhelming. People with strong social connections are less stressed and healthier physically and mentally. Loneliness is incredibly detrimental. Some research equates its health impact to smoking heavily. Actively nurturing supportive relationships is vital for confidence.
Wow, as bad as smoking. That's serious.
It is. And finally, things like mindfulness and cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, are excellent tools. They help manage stress, increase emotional awareness, and crucially help you challenge those negative automatic thoughts that kill confidence.
Like catching yourself thinking, I'm useless.
Exactly, and replacing it with something more realistic and compassionate, like, okay, that didn't go well. I feel disappointed. What can I learn from this? That shift from harsh judgment to constructive reflection is key.
Okay, that's a great set of tools for building our own confidence. But what about dealing with, well, the opposite? How do we handle interactions with people who are clearly arrogant?
Yeah, that's a practical reality. You will encounter arrogant people. The first thing, stay calm. Don't get sucked into their drama or defensiveness.
Easier said than done sometimes.
True, but reacting emotionally often gives them what they want. Second, set clear boundaries. Be firm, respectful, but clear about what is and isn't acceptable. Third, and this is crucial, don't take it personally. Their arrogance is almost always about their issues, their insecurity, not about your worth.
Right, detached from it.
Exactly. You can also use the gray rock technique, basically. Become boring and unresponsive. Give short, neutral answers. Don't offer personal information. It makes you less of a target.
Interesting tactic.
Also, seek support if you need it. Practice assertive communication. State your needs clearly without being aggressive and, honestly, know when to walk away. Sometimes the best strategy is just to disengage for your own mental health. Your confidence allows you that choice.
That's empowering. Choose your battles.
Precisely.
You know, throughout this whole conversation, it strikes me that confidence isn't just one thing. It seems like it might look different for different people in different situations.
That's a very astute observation.
Yeah.
It absolutely does manifest differently. Think about kids and students. Their confidence is shaped by teachers, school activities, friendships, even things like stereotype threat, sadly. Then you see some observed differences statistically between men and women in areas like persuasion styles or comfort with risk-taking or body image confidence, maternal confidence.
And athletes, I imagine.
Oh, definitely. Athletes often talk about mental toughness. Team dynamics play a huge role. And even culture matters. How confidence is expressed or valued might differ between, say, collectivist and individualist cultures. It's complex.
Okay, wow. We have covered a lot of ground today, really gone deep.
We have.
If there's one big takeaway from all this, for me, it's that confidence isn't this magical thing you're either born with or not. It's really a skill, something you can actively cultivate, like strengthening a muscle through practice, through self-awareness.
Absolutely. It's a journey, not a destination you just suddenly reach one day.
It's ongoing.
And let's be honest, cultivating genuine confidence, it's hard work sometimes, but it's such a sound investment in your future happiness and well-being. The core idea maybe is that confidence is like ordinary magic.
Ordinary magic, I like that.
Yeah, it feels magical when you have it, but it's achievable through ordinary, consistent effort. If you commit to understanding yourself, accepting weaknesses without judgment, and staying open to learning and adapting, it's about trusting your ability to figure things out, not necessarily knowing all the answers up front.
Trusting the process. So here's a final thought for everyone listening. If confidence really means knowing you'll figure it out, even when you don't quite know how yet, what's one small step you could take this week? Just one thing to embrace your own fog of uncertainty and start trusting your ability to navigate it.
Great question to ponder.
We really hope this deep dive gave you some valuable insights, maybe some tools to start that journey. Thank you so much for joining us on the deep dive.
Thanks for listening.
We look forward to continuing our learning journey together next time.